So I decided to make another one of these sort of videos. I don't really know what they're called, but they're epic. And I want to review this Roblox fan game because it is honestly just peak. And I know recently a lot of YouTubers have been glazing this, but I unironically think it is super fun, and I want to talk about it. This is Sonic.EXE The Disaster, currently at a 1.3.1 version. And it is probably a very fun game if you know what you're doing, as I got introduced to this about a month or two ago, and yet I've become addicted essentially. And I want to explain my thoughts and basically why I think this game is super fun, so let's get started. So first I want to mention how this game plays and what the core loop is. Essentially you are either a Sonic character running from the EXE as you hit them and stun them to avoid their attacks, or you are the EXE chasing them, make sure everyone's dead. So let's run through the easy EXEs first, because it's the much shorter section. So let's go. Sonic.EXE is probably the most balanced out of all three EXEs currently in the game, as he has got a wide variety of mobility and attack options, but not too many to make him overpowered. He has the basic attack, which does 45 damage. He has the spin dash, which in turn can be a mobility and attack option, which does 5 damage per hit. And he also has invincibility, which while in this state can spawn decoys, and while the decoys attack, you can pop out and disguise as one of them and then get the hit in. So these are basically all of your attack options. Now let's move on to literally everything else. All three EXEs have a shared ability of a laugh. I will play Sonic.EXEs right now. And Sonic.EXE also has a teleport, wherever you're standing, you press the button and it has a teleport pad. Above it is an icon for a button you must press. Pressing that button teleports you right there and then, no matter how far you are away, although you can't be stunned for it to work. In invincibility, you can actually have an indicator at the same time, showing where every current alive non-EXE is in the game. Colossus has some of the most viable attacks in the game, as they can do a lot of things. First is your standard basic attack, which does the most out of any killer in the game, that being 65. Another option is your grab. If you land the grab, the character you hold slowly loses 5 HP, but you can also pummel them for an extra 15. In 1.4, which will be added sooner or later, he will have a throw, but unfortunately will have his damage reduced to 10 for the grab. He also has a charge for his final attack, which can be used as mobility as well. It goes in a direct straight line towards anyone in your path, and it also does 25 damage. His indicator is just a basic one. It doesn't hide your location, it only reveals the others. There are also hidden ladders around the map, which both Sonic.EXE and Colossus can climb up, but no one else in the game, even the third EXE. His final ability is the block, which is just a staple block, which is similar to how Knuckles is axe, but we'll get to him later. And for the very last thing about him, I will play his laugh right now. Tails Doll is the most recent and by far the most unbalanced EXE in the entire game, because of his ability to just fly. Fly is what wins you the game as Tails Doll, and even then, everything else he has is a huge boost. basic attack does 40 damage, the lowest of any EXE in their basic attack in the entire game, but he can spam it quite a lot due to his speed. Trap is his second attack option, which is used anywhere once you press the button. It will spawn a small radius around Tails' door, taking away damage from anyone in the vicinity. And Slash is the most broken shit in the game! His final ability, which is an alternate version of the basic attack, which has no animation difference, so you're supposed to tell if they use Slash or basic attack. It does a semi bit of damage, but also locks you from jumping, and also takes away your damage like the trap. So basically, if they use Slash, you're done for. He's the only EXE that cannot climb ladders, but that's because he can fly. It's just a straight up fly. It's 5 seconds, but it also gives a speed boost along with the mobility in the air. So it's a really good mobility tool. His indicator is also the same as Colossus, where it just reveals their location, but combined with Fly, they're not going to see you coming. And I will now play his laugh. Overall, every EXE has a different stat boost. Well, kinda. They all have their different ways of playing. So let's move on to the basic characters. Tails is seen as a ranged attacker, but only has 2 moves, a mobility and an attack move. His primary ability is his arm cannon, which takes a few seconds to charge up, and then when releasing will have a bit of delay, and if shooting the EXE will stun him. In 1.4 this is going to get changed where he has several types of blasters, but I will let you go to the Sonic.EXE Disaster Discord to let you see all of the different types. He also has a glide, which is basically his fly, but you have to spam the jump button in order to keep your height. It also only lasts for a couple of seconds. Knuckles is more of a close-up stunner, where he has 2 moves that are both used primarily towards the EXE, block and punch. Punch is a very long stun, especially to the minion EXEs. Minion EXEs are EXEs that were transformed by the main EXE in order to kill the others. This is only done when you are dead. Knuckles' second ability is his block, which is basically a primary stun for both you and the EXE, but you manage to get away first, leaving you a few seconds before the EXE gets up and is ready to attack again. Eggman is more of a support character, but ranges to get massively overhauled next update. But let's discuss what he has now. He has his turret, zapper, and jetpack, all with varying usefulness. His turret is the most useful, where you can currently place 5 around the map. That will slow the EXE down, allowing you to distract them and possibly get away. His zapper can also shoot the EXE, which stuns them and slows them down. Next update, this can be used for Metal Sonic to upgrade his abilities. His jetpack can be used in several ways, as a vertical or horizontal distance getaway. Amy is another stunner which has to get close to the EXE to execute most of her attacks. She has her hammer throw, hammer spin, and hammer attack. Hammer attack is her basic punch, such as Knuckles' punch, which has you get close and just whack the EXE. Her hammer spin is more of a triple punch, but at slower quantities and less stun time. Her hammer throw is the most risky, which is a ranged attack that can be used to snipe the EXE, but you would have to retrieve your hammer after, which the EXE could guard and stop you from getting back. Once you lost your hammer, you also have the dodge roll, which can be used as a maneuvering option in case you need it to get your hammer back. Cream is the major support character that you would want on any team to win. She has 2 abilities which are both very useful. Her maneuvering ability, which is just a speed boost, and her healing. Her healing can actually overheal you, so if you've taken damage, she can highlight you and help you get more health in case you need it. This can also extend your maximum health, meaning you can get more than you actually need. She, however, cannot heal herself, so most teams strive to protect her at all costs. Sally would be your second most useful support character, having 3 abilities, technically 2. Her shield, shield share, and shield swap. Her shield gives a shield to herself, which can range from a basic shield, fire shield, or water shield. The fire shield and water shield have abilities, while the basic one does not. You can switch through these using the shield swap. The fire shield has a mini boost that you can execute after jumping. The bubble shield basically gives you a double jump, which propels you towards the ground and then back up. You could combine this with your abilities to get an advantage. The shield share basically does the same thing, but gives it to your closest partner instead. Shadow is basically either the character you use when you want to get in a fight or the character you use when you want to run the fuck away, because he is very useful in the right scenarios. Shadow only has 2 abilities, but the cooldowns aren't as bad as some of the others in the game. Boost basically propels you forward and up into the sky and can hit the EXE when stomping on the ground. Homing attack is another option for an attack, which just lets you hover, and when you press another designated button, it will let you charge forward, either hitting the EXE or boosting you away. Again, both of these can be used for attack or mobility. Rouge is definitely the best non-EXE character for abilities, as she has 4 of them. Let's run through them all. Sensor is basically a device that pinpoints where the EXE's location is if they're nearby. You can put 10 of these down and the cooldown is 0.7 seconds. Her slide is her mobility tool, which just slides along the ground but you cannot get hit at all. Flashbang is something that can really mess up the EXE, as you can throw it down and if they get caught within the blast, they cannot see for a couple of seconds. Bullet Trap is similar to Flashbang, except you place it on the ground and it can affect more than one EXE, as it blasts them away. Metal is definitely the character you want to use the most if no one else takes him. He is one of the best characters to fight with. He has 2 main abilities while the third is hidden until you're revived once. Push is his main ability, which allows you to grab the EXE and take them wherever you want. This also stuns them after you let go. Grapple is his second ability, which basically allows you to pull him towards you, but also can be used to pull him off ledges. His third ability can only be found after being revived, this being self-destruct. When you self-destruct, you kill yourself but also create a huge explosion which can push the EXE away and leaves them stunned for a very long time. Metal Sonic currently can still be an EXE after blowing himself up. This is going to get changed in 1.4. Silver is another character which is basically a support, as he has 3 abilities. His first ability is his orb, which is a little orb he can charge up and throw at the EXE. This is a very short stun and is basically used whenever you want him to get off you, so you can get a tiny boost. His second ability is his barrier, which allows him to place a barrier wherever he wants as long as it is close to him. This basically allows you to walk through it, but only the EXE can't go through it. His final ability is Speed Radius, which grants everyone around him a speed boost, but can also be used as a sensor to find out if anyone's nearby. Blaze is our final character here, having 2 abilities, both extremely useful. Her Fire Blast is her first ability, which creates a huge wall of fire which gets launched for a couple of meters. When doing this, the EXE will get pulled away if it's in its radius and will be stunned after. The second ability is her Fire Swap, which is a mobility and attack option, which can stun the EXE shortly for a couple of times. My and anyone's general thoughts on this game usually depend on the lobby you're playing in. They can either be noobs, tryhards, or just right. all hackers. If you run into hackers, just report them and leave. They're not fun. As long as you play with the right people and have the right team, you will have a good time. And if you play your main, you will also have a good time, because it's the character you're most used to. Just play whoever you feel like, and if they're taken, just try and find your substitute. Such as me. My main is Shadow, but my secondary is Knuckles, as I played as him before. I like to play the most straightforward characters, as it helps me get along with the game better. Even though it can be hard to avoid the EXE with them, they offer quite useful tools, which allow me to have a fun time with the game as long as my team supports me. And this is Sonic.EXE The Disaster, what I personally think is the best Sonic Roblox game out of everything. Speed Sim, Sonic Movie Adventure, this is the best in my opinion. So thank you for watching, and I really hope you give this game attention, even though a lot of people have been giving it attention. I hope you do, because this is extremely fun. Look forward to more updates, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the next video.